no Jordan Poole.
Now, back to Willard and Dibs on 95.7 The Game.
I mean, we're still trying, though. We're still trying to get to know him. I know one thing I've heard bandied about today, people want, and I'm not going to ask Steve this because I just don't think it's a fair question. I don't think we're going to get the right answer.
You'll stick to the script, mister.
No, I won't. But, does Jordan Poole still want to be on the Warriors? I mean,
that's question 5.
But what's anybody going to say to that publicly? No, I don't think he does. Holy crap.
Sorry, Lucas, that one's not going to happen.
No, I'm going to listen. I think there's a way to ask
Mark, I'm glad you asked me that. No, he's wanted out of here ever since fist met face. Next question.
I think there's a different way to get to the subject matter.
How badly does he want out?
I'm just going to yell at Steve, you don't know Jordan Poole.
Totally.
And then see what he says.
Right.
I'll be like, actually, I know him really well.
Spend every day with him.
Together every day.
See him every day. He's actually here right now.
I think
the question for me.
I think he does, which is what's weird about this.
No, of course he does.
I think he does. He's signed up to be here. He has publicly stated, why would I go anywhere else? But we've got this perception, which is what I really want to get to the bottom of. We've got this perception that this room ain't big enough for Draymond and Jordan. And the admission by Steve Kerr, which we'll play for you in just a second, that the punch never really fully got out of the room is why we have that question. Does more time and a brand new start to the season shake you free of that? Or is that unrealistic? Are Jordan and Draymond damaged as a partnership forever?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the answer that he'll give is no, and that's kind of what he said, and you'll play it momentarily, but there's work still to be done. For me, the question that I think should be asked is, assuming Jordan Poole does want to be here, and Jordan has said as much, and it feels like he wants to be here, and if Draymond still wants to be here, then they, in fact, will coexist. How can Jordan Poole coexist with Steph, Clay, and Dre next year better than he did this year? And forget off the court, but on the court, what needs to be different about the four of them playing together to make this team more successful?
And Killian asked Steve Kerr just over 3 hours ago what happened to the Warrior culture, because it seemed like it was not the same as it has been in years past. That's just a quick sort of summary of the question that was asked, and here's how Steve answered it.
I think there was some of that was lost this year for sure. You know, there's no hiding from it. The incident with Draymond and Jordan at the beginning of the year played a role in that. It's hard for that not to impact a team, and so, you know, we feel like we have a great group of people on the roster, on the coaching staff, in the front office. We have a way of doing things that we're very proud of, but those things were definitely challenged this year. Anytime some trust is lost, then it makes the process much more difficult. And there was some trust lost. And that's as blunt as I can be. So the only way to try to correct course is to continue to communicate with players and coaches, and those relationships have to be built. The bonds have to be built. I think that's a major focus for us this offseason is we have to get back to what has made us really successful, which is a really trusting environment and a group that relies on one another and makes each other better.
I think it's fascinating that he's having this conversation now, because I think most people were like, yeah, that really affected the early part of the season. But then got to January. There's even an article where Draymond pointed to a game against Toronto mid to late January. It's like, you know, we kind of called him out on something.
Yeah.
Jordan handled it well. And we knew from that point on, all was good. Well, apparently not. I mean,
No.
Steve Kerr is sitting here on May, what's today?
16th.
May
Keon's
16th.
birthday.
Okay. Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, he's
Happy
out of
birthday,
market,
boy.
so I'll
Yeah.
send him a call.
Okay.
20 years old today.
Happy birthday, Keon.
Yeah, no
Damn,
doubt.
Your family's having a big week.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
You know, it's this time of year.
Yeah.
The
Anyway.
big fella's birthday is right around the corner, so.
Okay. All right.
You know.
Happy everything to everybody.
Yep, so far so good, but it's
Good.
May 16th, and on May 16th, as we sit, this is still an issue.
Yeah, it's still
to
an
your
issue.
Point.
Steve
Not
Kerr
to
is sitting
interrupt.
here going, this is a big deal this offseason for us to rebuild the trust, rebuild the relationships,
Right.
get back to who we are. This is still in the room.
And it's the elephant in the room, and it never went away. And somebody on YouTube, and I do want to shout out Let the Jet Fly, who paid for a comment in the super chat, $1.99, to ask, who do you think Curry talks into signing with the Dubs?
Cash me out one time.
That's an interesting question we can address here momentarily. I don't know if they have the room to talk anyone into it outside of a veteran minimum guy, but you mentioned the Jordan Poole Draymond thing, and somebody on the YouTube said, just let Jordan Poole punch Draymond in the face, and then everything will be forgiven.
Would
If
Jordan-
only it were that simple, right?
And if Draymond would even feel it. Would he feel it? Would he feel it? Or would Jordan punch him and then fall down and look for a call? I just,
That's a
I'm
four.
sorry. I couldn't do it.
No, but I think in terms of how do you make it right, because the trust never came all the way back. And it's more than just the punch. I do think the way Jordan Poole plays, and, you know, it feels like at times Jordan was playing with Jordan's own agenda. And I won't excuse Klay Thompson in this conversation, because at times it looked like Klay Thompson was playing with his own agenda early in the year, and the team reportedly had to talk to him about hunting shots. And you heard Steve Kerr actually mentioning that many, many months ago about Klay, quote, hunting shots. And, you know, Draymond Green was healthy and played most of the year. Steph missed a bunch of games. You didn't have that same cohesiveness start to finish. And then you got to the end of the year and you had to breathe deep that you even made it in the playoffs as a 6 seed.
So just sort of rebooting where we're going out of this, which is, do you want Jordan Poole on the team or not? You've stated for a number of weeks that you don't think the two can coexist.
Right.
I can't give a firm yes or no to the question yet, other than to say it this way, because I think that the Warriors offseason now boils down to two things. Number one, what is the trade value for Jordan Poole? In other words, what kind of offer can you get for him? And number two, do you actually believe that relationship is recoverable? That Poole and Draymond, not just, hey, businessman, we play basketball, it's all good. No, it ain't all good. Can you get back to actually being teammates with a vibe and a culture that's healthy and productive and positive within the Warrior hallways? Those two questions need to be answered. And when you have those answers, then you figure out what's the best thing to do. What you're really hoping is that you don't come to the answer that no, the relationship is not recoverable, and the trade offers we're getting on the market are terrible. If that happens, that's the 1-2 gut punch that the Warriors can't handle. I think option one is this is recoverable. If they truly believe they can save this and get it back together, I would rather see, even after all of this, I'd rather see Jordan Poole still on the team. But if not, now you go to the other part, which is what are the trade options? And I still believe this, as stubborn as this may sound, I'm not giving up Jordan Poole unless the return is significant. There better be somebody coming back who can fill up the score sheet.
I'm not so worried about filling up the score sheet as I am getting a stop on the other end.
Both, yes.
Well, for me, if I had to prioritize, it would be get me a stop, because I have guys who can fill up the score sheet. That is not something that I think that you were lacking. This year you were lacking defense and you were lacking turnovers. You turned it over too much. Jordan Poole's turnovers were up. And you gave up too many points because your defense was bad, and that's Jordan Poole. So I actually start in the other direction. Your 2 points are rock solid, Mark, but I start with prong 2. What can I get for Jordan Poole before I worry about prong 1? Is the relationship fixable? Because if I can shop and trade Jordan Poole, and by the way, Jonathan Kuminga, who appears to be disgruntled, some sort of disgruntlement, and for that to come out, the day after you got eliminated that Jonathan Kuminga is not happy with his role, and the reports were that if Jonathan Kuminga isn't going to get significant playing time, that he wants to play elsewhere. My young man, who do you think that you are to come out after the team loses to the Lakers in 6, and now that this report is going to come out? That to me was terrible timing.
Now that was from Slate's and Shams and The Athletic, and I think it was based on discussions that were months long. I don't think Jonathan came out with anything public.
Did his Camp Kuminga?
No, the report was...
Which sounds fun if you're a kid.
I would love to go to Camp Kuminga this summer.
No doubt.
How much does it cost for a week?
Well, $6 million next year.
Okay,
team option.
Anyway, I think Jonathan's stance is more not I'm mad, but I will be if I can't play next year. And that's fair because I think these are two different disgruntlements. Is that even a word?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Let's go with it. Jordan Poole thinks he should be starting and playing more. Jonathan wants to develop and feels like I need to be somewhere. I can't develop if I don't play. So I'm not mad at you, but if you're not going to play me, then let's get me somewhere where I will.
See, you can develop when you don't play. Jordan Poole developed when he didn't play. He went to the G League, and you can develop in practice. And if you think that you can't develop while not playing, then that's a slap in the face of Jama Malalela.
No, but he's
the coach in charge of development.
But Kuminga, better this year than last year?
Sure.
Yeah, so it's not like, again...
So what's his problem?
His problem is that they got to the most important part of the year. Wiggins got healthy. They acquired GP2. He got healthy, and all of a sudden the Warriors were like, we're not playing you.
But why did he stop playing? It's because when he did play, he was terrible.
No doubt.
And when there was a ball that was available to him, if he was showing any interest in actually, wait for it, playing basketball, he would not have been benched. He got benched, Mark.
This was the point I made to Larry yesterday. You're absolutely right. Like Jonathan,
I heard you. That was good. Passionate.
He bears plenty of responsibility in this. However, I think he's accepting that. When I listen to him talk, I don't hear someone who's just like, these guys don't know what they're doing because I'm awesome and I can jump. He's not. He's like, no, I need to come back and rebound. I need to pattern my game after Kevon Looney. I need to be a worker underneath, including my leaping ability and all of that.
3.4 rebounds.
Right. It's not okay. So I think his head is screwed on straight, but he wants an opportunity. Who doesn't? Andre Iguodala said something real interesting about this. He said, look, what we experienced this year is the regular NBA.
Right.
Where always there are a few people sitting over on the bench that don't think they should be over there on the bench. What the Warriors have experienced the last decade is fantasy land, and it almost never happens where everybody is just like, I'll accept this role, you accept that, let's win rings whenever we're healthy, we're all amazing, and we all get along. And even then, it's not like there wasn't drama. David West.
There's always been drama. Draymond and Kevin Durant.
Right. So this is normalcy. Young guys who want a shot. It's just a matter of how you take it. I don't like either hearing that Kuminga was sulking, but I believe they got to him. I think they got to him before exit interviews. The Warriors.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant his camp.
I think he's accepting of the constructive criticism that he's getting right now.
I didn't hear him in his exit interview refuting any of these notions about him wanting to be elsewhere. And he had a chance in his exit interview. I didn't hear the whole thing, but I didn't see anything where he's like, that's nonsense. Of course I want to be here. I want to develop here. I don't want to go anywhere. You know, to me, the idea is out there that he wants to play. And I don't blame him. He's 20 years old. Yeah. He's the number 7 pick in the draft. And if you look around that draft, all the players around him, they're all getting a chance to play, and he's not getting a chance to play.
Right. And so, yeah, that's like, why wouldn't he want out if that's the case? Let me ask you this. We get to the end of the football season this year, and Trey Lance still has 4 starts. How do you think he's going to be feeling?
Well, he'll probably look to go play somewhere.
To go somewhere else. Exactly.
No doubt.
I need to play. So
that's fine. And yeah. I'm saying now's the time to package him with Jordan Poole. Because Jordan Poole, you mentioned it, Jordan Poole, and these are your words. I don't know if Jordan's ever said, I want to start, but the notion is that Jordan Poole wants to be a starter. Mm-hmm. Even though he averaged 30 minutes a night even though he led the team in minutes played. I get it. There's a certain amount of cachet that comes with being a starter. Jordan Poole, you're not going to be a starter for this team next year. It's going to be Stephen Clay and Wiggins. Even if Draymond's gone, you're probably not going to start all three of those guards at the same time.
He'll start half the games because that's just the way it works.
Just about this year. He started a little bit more than half.
They'll
I think
go
43.
to the East Coast, and the big three will take a few nights off.
I think he started, 43 of the 82 this year.
Yeah, that's probably what it will normally be.
But if he wants to start 82 of 82, because that's Jordan Poole, then if you're not going to be happy coming off the bench 39 times next year,
he'll do it. Obviously, he's been doing it. Like, you know,
he's not happy about it.
Well, that's okay.
It's
are you
not
happy?
okay.
Are you happy about everything here?
Of course not. But
okay, but you're here.
I'm
and
here,
you perform.
And I perform very well because I understand my role. I'm not 23 years old. I'm 54.
Well,
so there's a certain amount of maturity that comes with doing this as long as I have.
But I think he's doing the exact same thing.
Am I delighted when you're off and I get to start in the A chair? Not really.
Let's
it's
go
a lot of work over there.
All right, let's go to
You
James.
got reads, people in your ear. Yeah. The one thing I do like is I can go to the phones. I can pick who I want to pick.
That's right.
And I can send them on their way.
Plus, you're in the slim chair.